The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John.
Glory to you, O Lord.
Mary Magdalene stayed outside of the tomb weeping. And as she wept, she bent over into the tomb and saw two angels in white sitting there, one at the head and one at the feet where the body of Jesus had been. And they said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping?" She said to them, "They have taken my Lord, and I don't know where they laid him." But when she had said this, she turned around and saw Jesus there, but did not know it was Jesus. Jesus said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping? Whom are you looking for?" She thought it was the gardener and said to him, "Sir, if you carried him away, tell me where you laid him, and I will take him." Jesus said to her, "Mary." She turned and said to him in Hebrew, "Rabboni," which means teacher. Jesus said to her, "Stop holding on to me, for I have not yet ascended to the Father. But go to my brothers and tell them, I am going to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God." Mary went and announced to the disciples, "I have seen the Lord," and then reported what he had told her. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
A few days ago, here at Mass, Father Wagenka asked us a question that I've kind of sat with over the days, and it's a very simple question. Do you love Jesus? And in my own attempts to answer that question, I find that my answers they tend towards the complex, or towards the academic. I'd say that I love the gospel. I love Jesus' philosophy. I love the way he saw the world, the way he understood the world. I'd say I love the people he associates himself with. I'd say I love the church. And that's not to say that any of these answers, when I ponder this question, are wrong or illegitimate. These are all fine answers. In fact, Jesus endorses all these answers. He says, "If you love me, keep my commandments. Take care of the least among you if you love me." And love, as we might say, is primarily an act and not an emotion. Now, all that being said, I would say that there are the privileged few among us who can answer this question much more simply and much more personally. Yes, I love Jesus. In an emotional way, in a way that I love a family member or a close friend. It's a much simpler answer than I often have to offer. Today's gospel revolves around somebody who answers that question with such ease: Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene loves Jesus. We know from the Gospels that Mary Magdalene at one time in her life had been possessed by 7 demons, and Jesus had healed her and had liberated her. And we know from that moment on that she was Jesus' perhaps closest follower, perhaps alongside with his mother Mary. Mary Magdalene was with Jesus at the most important events. She was there at his crucifixion, when the disciples fled. She was there as they took his body to the tomb. And as we hear this morning, she's there as the tomb is discovered to be open. So Mary didn't love Jesus just philosophically or in a mystical body of the church sort of way. Mary loved Jesus in a way that was personal and that was simple. What's fitting to me is that in the gospel today, it's Mary who carries the great privilege and the great honor of being the first to proclaim the news of the resurrection. It's not Peter, it's not James, it's not John, it's Mary Magdalene. And it's a beautiful thing to think about. The greatness that is the church in her philosophy and in her history and her tradition and her theology. It's all built on that one thing that Mary Magdalene had: a simple, personal, pure love of Jesus. And so as we make our way through the Easter season, which continues to have a sense of austerity and silence, a kind of a retreat quality to it. Maybe we can make that our prayer. When we're asked that question, do you love Jesus? Perhaps we can pray that our answer becomes a little less complicated and a little more simple, a little more pure, and a little more personal.